I'm Tim Coventry.
I'm Steve Beltoff.
And welcome to Harvardfield's Political Network on YouTube. All right, starting off, we have on the Republican side, a big news. Marco Rubio, the guy, the myth, the legend, whatever you want to call him.
The myth.
The man who blatantly attacked Donald Trump and stooped down to his level is now supporting the man, Donald Trump. Now, this comes as no surprise, as the unification of the party is coming together, regardless of what people are saying. And, Marco Rubio had said that he still keeps his words about what he said about Donald Trump. But he knows that he doesn't want to support Hillary, so the best bet would be to support Donald Trump. Now, on another side of the spectrum, not really, but GOP voters are rallying behind Donald Trump. He's now over 50% in the Republican sphere, and compared to what he was during the primaries when you had Ted Cruz and John Kasich, are below 50. Now it's like a guaranteed over 50%. This is good news. This means that people know that they have either no other choice or that they like Donald Trump and they're finally coming together and supporting him. Very good news. Now, let's go to Hasib for the Democratic side of things.
On the Democratic side of things, there's nothing really much going on except for campaigning mainly in California. The remaining primaries include the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, New Jersey, California, Washington, D.C. The main playing field is the California primary. It is currently, the latest poll released this morning shows Clinton with a 2% lead, 47 to 49, and that's within the margin of error. So Bernie closed a double-digit lead into a 2-point lead now, and we will have to see if he wins California. It will be, see, my analysis on this is it won't really affect Clinton too much, but he can make the case that she's a weak nominee. It will show that she's a weak nominee because she couldn't win California, which includes a heavy Latino and African American population. Along with that, it's the last primary before Washington, D.C.
Yes.
So that will show her weakness as a candidate. The only primary she's won in the last few primaries was Kentucky by a very small margin. So we'll have to see how that turns out, and I think that whoever it may be, probably Hillary Clinton, Bernie is probably going to go into the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia.
Now, I just want to say that for the Republican side of things, even though Ted Cruz and John Kasich have dropped out, it is still a contest regardless. Now, yes, Trump has 1,239 delegates. He clinched the nomination. But there's still California, Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, and South Dakota left, with 172 delegates, 27 delegates, 51 delegates, 24 delegates, and 29 delegates. Now, the thing is here, is if he wins every single state on that night, again, it just reinforces, it proves, hopefully to Mitt Romney and to the people that are running the third campaign with Mr. French. Now I have to say that's ridiculous. It really is. Hasib, this is why the Republicans might not win the ticket if he ends up sabotaging the entire thing. If we have a third person on with Hillary Clinton, 4 actually, because they're libertarian. It's just going to be a crazy election season.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, well,
yeah, you said
I
no.
would not like to see that. And French has never had any political experience, like Trump. He's a news blogger, but a news writer, my bad. And apparently I believe he was in the Iraq War. He visited the Iraq War. He wrote a lot about ISIS too, or one article I believe. So maybe he could be a good candidate, but come on, it's way too late. I mean, technically you could argue it's too early, but there was a whole contest, people voted, people want Trump now. Putting in a third campaign, it's almost like you're just being a baby. Like, you need to get over it. You really do. What do you think?
Typically, I think that a third party would be wonderful to see. I don't know what the exact terminology would be, but it would be very interesting to see a third party run, whether it be on the Democratic side or the Republican side, because Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are not heavily favored by the American people. Both of them
Yes.
have high unfavorability ratings across the aisle.
This is the weirdest election we've ever had, like unfavorability wise.
Unfavorability wise. And both of them are regarded as the one of them is either, if you're a Democrat or Republican, the lesser of two evils. So a third party could run quite a heated campaign. Maybe it would not lead to them winning.
There was just one little thing I want to point out. I saw a poll yesterday, or the other day, and it was of Americans with Donald Trump v. Hillary Clinton. 44% of them polled want a third party. They want another choice. Again, people
I
want.
prefer Michael Bloomberg at this time. Michael Bloomberg is a great man.
I would never, if Mark Cuban went for the third party, that would be ridiculous. First of all, he has $2 billion. That might not even be enough. Yes, he may fund his own money, but it would just be ridiculous. This election, I'm not scared, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get pretty heated in the coming months.
You wanted to discuss the debate between Bernie Sanders
Yes, I
and
did.
Donald Trump.
Now, let's start off. Last week, Donald Trump went on Jimmy Kimmel's show, and Bernie Sanders posed a question to Jimmy Kimmel. He wanted him to ask Donald Trump if Donald Trump would be willing to debate Bernie Sanders. And Donald Trump said, yeah, I would. So the next day, or not even the next day, within a couple hours, Bernie Sanders immediately took to Twitter.
I just wanted to change something. He never said, yeah, I would. He said, yes, I'm willing to do it. He said, sure.
Around those
Sure
lines.
was his word.
Yeah, he's willing. Yeah, I would. Yes, I'm willing.
Okay, so Bernie Sanders
Yes.
to Twitter.
He took to Twitter, he said, I accept your challenge. When Donald Trump said, I'm willing to do it, it does not mean that it will actually get done. What Bernie Sanders did, though, Donald Trump flip-flopped. He went from, I don't want to do it anymore, to doing it. Now he's back at, I don't want to do it. And Bernie Sanders, regardless of what Haseeb says, he hit him
Regardless of what Timothy says, Trump
relatively
chickened
hard.
out.
Trump chickened out because he even said, even though Bernie Sanders won a couple of states, he's still a loser. He's not the front runner. Donald Trump wants to verse Hillary. And Bernie Sanders went on multiple shows and said that,
Timothy, I want you to quote the shows, and then next show next week, which will be our last primary season show.
Yes,
I want you to have
let me
the
just
list,
finish this real quick.
And I
Bernie
will
Sanders went on
go
multiple
through
shows.
with our producer Brian Rami to
he
show whether or
complained,
not Bernie said anything.
saying how Donald Trump kept flip-flopping, and he kept saying how the poll averages between Donald Trump and Hillary, or Bernie Sanders and Hillary, his poll average was higher, and he was beating Trump.
It is higher.
But he's just complaining now. He's not going to get anywhere.
Let me ask you something. I'm not even asking you something. Now it's my turn to debate whether or not what happened really. Yes, Trump was asked. Trump said, sure. He said, let's do it with charity. If there's charity, I'm willing to do it. The following day, he said, I forgot the amount, but for women's health, if you can raise this amount of money,
I believe around $11 million.
let's do it. Everybody was ready. News networks approached them. They started to get things working. Then the following day, on a Saturday, Trump's like, I'm not doing it. So he went from sure to this is my thing if you want to do it. This is my
You know why he did that, Haseeb?
demand. And
Why
then
do you think
said
he
no.
switched?
I'm
I
not finished
think
yet.
he
I'm not
talked to
finished
his
yet.
advisors, Haseeb. You're not.
I'm not finished yet. Okay, it makes sense. Bernie is not the front runner.
He's a loser.
You can't. Okay, a man who's not expected to dent
Yes.
Hillary Clinton's coronation
Yes.
gathered the most amount of votes anyone.
But Haseeb,
ever imagined against Hillary Clinton.
it wouldn't be presidential. It wouldn't be right for us. It wouldn't
And
be
Trump
right.
has been presidential this entire season.
Oh, so you're saying because Trump's there now, he should vote Bernie Sanders. He should debate Bernie Sanders. No, it's not right.
A
And
debate between
no, it wouldn't make sense.
Donald
He's not
Trump
going to win.
and Bernie Sanders would destroy Hillary Clinton, whether it be internally or externally.
Bernie Sanders just wanted to debate someone else since Hillary Clinton dropped out.
if-
Donald Trump doesn't want
See,
to.
what happened with Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders is, maybe our viewers don't know, before the New Hampshire primary, Hillary asked, because Bernie was leading the polls for New Hampshire, if you gave me a debate for New Hampshire, I'll give you a debate in New York in April and a debate in California in May. Bernie said, okay, I'll give you a debate in New Hampshire. There was a debate in New Hampshire. She kind of went behind on New York until she was pressured into finally, okay, let's have a debate in New York. And she refused to have a debate in California. So Bernie asked Trump. Trump should have said either no, it's inappropriate on the first day. No, it is inappropriate for me to debate a second place finisher. Okay, maybe it does seem a little improbable. Why would Donald Trump debate Bernie Sanders?
Yes.
If it's for a good cause, there shouldn't be a problem.
You just want them to debate.
Is Donald Trump putting his presidency, his reputation above women's health? Now I'm putting a really
See,
big
now
question
you're
out
just
there.
no. Hasib.
Okay,
No, wait.
it's
First
over.
of all,
There's not
no,
gonna be
it's
a
not
debate.
over. Yeah, Hasib, you went on and on last week about this. You're like, oh, it's gonna happen. No,
I never
it
went
will
on
not.
and on. I said I'm
Yes, you
excited
did.
to see what is going to happen. I was really excited.
And I knew it
And I'm
wouldn't
not
happen.
the only one that was excited. Timothy never said, "Oh, it's not going to happen."
Yes, I
said,
did.
We'll have to see
The first day.
what will happen. Timothy, you never.
Yes, I did.
Never
I said
said.
you asked me.
You
Did you hear about
never
this?
said.
I said yes, I did hear
Yes,
about this.
You never said it's not going to happen.
And I said we'll have to see. But
Yes.
then I said I don't think it would happen because it's
I do not recall that.
Hasib.
I clearly do not recall
Hasib.
that. Timothy, you're changing your words.
I'm not changing my words, Hasib. I clearly said it.
It's already been 15 minutes.
We could go back on Ryan Ackerman. Now, closing
So
statements.
Ryan
Hasib.
Ackerman is going to take your side. Because he's a Republican.
See it? Being biased.
Trying to unify the
Hasib,
party.
Closing statements.
Yes, I'll go first. California next week is a big deal, whether or not Bernie Sanders wins or not. One quick thing. Hillary Clinton has 1,769 pledged delegates. She needs 2,382 pledged delegates to win. Not superdelegates, not including superdelegates. So probably the media will say, oh, Hillary Clinton has won. She has enough delegates to be the nominee.
All
You
right.
need pledged delegates, not superdelegates included. So a contested convention is definitely on the table. We'll have to see if Bernie drops out or goes to the
It will not
convention.
happen. The Democratic Party will not allow Bernie Sanders as their nominee.
I'm not saying that
will
will
not.
happen. I'm saying contested
I
convention.
know, but I'm just saying he'll never win.
I'm not saying he will be the nominee.
All right,
Anyway.
closing statements.
Yes. Okay, California, big deal. We'll have to see what happens. This primary race is coming to a close. So next week will be our last primary season show. We're still seeing if we're going to have a show in the summer. So we'll announce that next week. Timothy?
Donald Trump, again, if he wins all those states next week, it's going to be very clear that the Republican Party officially wants him as president. Now, moving on, like we said,
Republican voters,
we're
not
Republican Party.
No, the
Republican
leaders
Party
are not
and the
for.
voters. Moving on, Hasib, Donald Trump, he'll probably become the president. Not probably, I think he will. And we will have, or we're going to try to have, shows throughout the summer as well after the primary season. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Hasib Altaf. You're Tim Coventry. Just kidding. Have a great day.